bunch of emails and a bunch of comments, guys asking me to show them how to change the belts on the ZT. They can be overwhelming at first if you don't know what to do and look for. Like if it breaks on you first time and you're like, how do I do this? First, this is on the ZT1844, 38 horsepower. It might be just a tad different on the 27 or horsepower one. I don't know. I never really worked on one of those, but I'm sure the belt system's the same. Anyway, here's the deal. The other day I made a video and I posted it yesterday. And you could hear it. I even told you in the video that the belt was starting to squeak and go. Okay? Now, I did a big job today. And over the weekend I did some other bigger stumps with it. And I pushed the belt. I pushed it to its limit. I knew it, you know. So it finally broke, but I got the job done. Okay? And but the main belt, this is on the clutch side, so I'll show you how to figure out which side is what. Okay, give me a second. But what I need to tell you this, okay, for you new guys or a guy that buys a ZT, if you're going to be in the stump grinding business, you need to learn how to do some of this basic stuff. If you can't turn a wrench, you need to learn how to turn a wrench. At least on these machines. It's not complicated, okay? If I can teach a 15-year-old how to do this, you can do this, all right? Even if you say, well, I'm not a mechanic. I'm not asking you to be a mechanic. I'm asking you to learn some basic skills on turning some wrenches, okay? And, you know, once you do it, the second time is easier. Third time is easier, okay? It's like muscle memory, okay? You won't panic. Because if you have to take your machine to a dealer, let's say your dealer's far away, an hour away, by the time he gets it, he ain't going to fix it right there. It's going to stay in the shop a few days. That's 3 or 4 days you're out your machine. Then he has the up cost of his labor and the belts. You know, I posted a link on the last video that showed where I get the belts from. I buy them from a supply place. They ship them to me within 2 or 3 days. I recommend this to you. Buy 2 belts at a time. So basically you have 2 spares of each belt, okay? I know you said, but yes, if you buy them from a dealer or you buy the gates, gates are the best ones. So gates are very expensive. So if you have the right code, you can go to the internet and find them cheaper. Or the supplier I'll give you, I bought 4 belts. I bought 2 for the clutch side, 2 for the other side. So 4 belts. My total cost was under $120 for 4 belts. Normally you could pay over that. I think one time I paid $160 just for the cutter wheel side in a Gates. So, you know, it goes through a lot of hands and markup, you know. The Gates will sell it to the factory will sell it to the dealership sells it to you. It goes through 3 or 4 hands before you get it. So everybody's putting a little 30% markup on it. I'm not trying to be, you know, I know everybody's got to make money, but I'm trying to tell you guys, the small guys in the business, how to stay in business, okay? Because some of you guys just get started and you're like, holy shit, I didn't get the money. I got $500 to change belts. I'm not sure what a deal would charge, but I'm sure it's going to be at least $300 to change a belt on this stupid machine. When, honestly, what I'm changing today on this side of the machine, I probably got $40 maybe. I don't have the receipt in front of me to tell you, but the belts on the clutch side are cheaper. The most expensive belt is on the opposite side, which I'll explain to you and show you the machine which side is what, okay? And I'll also put a link once again of where I buy the belts in the description, okay? And well, let me go with that. Let's turn the camera around, and today I'm basically going to show you how to change both belts on the clutch side, okay? If we walk up, there's your shield, okay? This is the clutch side, the same side your muffler's on, okay? There's your electric clutch, there's the wires, all right? Now, the belt that I blew, look at it happen, it blew, okay? This is the belt that comes off the clutch to this pulley that runs to the other side that runs the cutter wheel. So when it blew, it also damaged this belt here, okay? This belt got twisted. Now you think, oh, it's still good. You can't put it on because see this little piece of the inner cord? The little cord ripped and the belt won't hold straight, okay? It'll pull itself off the pulley. There's, in your manual, it does not show you how to do this one pulley right here, okay? It's not hard, but here's two things about it. You have to, see the belt's already off, okay? The big belt, cogs here around the clutch, goes to here, runs underneath this. You cannot change that belt unless you get that belt off. Now for me, it's already blown off, so it's easy. But to get that belt on, the big belt, okay, you have to unplug right here. This is your electric cord that energizes the electric clutch, okay? In order to get this to where you could get a belt around it, see, watch, I'll show you why you can't. Look, you try to get a belt around, it's got the metal frame, it won't go around, you see? Somebody will try and say, well, it won't fit. There's a reason. This guard's here, okay? Has a pin that goes in that when this clutch is engaged, the forces hit here and that pin right here locks it. You don't have to take that bolt out. Don't even bother with it. There's one bolt here. It's 5/8, okay? There's another one right there. See? It's 5/8. I pre-loosened these already. Take that out. You come down here. It's hard to do this one hand, guys, but work with me. Hold on. Okay, it's out, right? Lay it down nicely. All right, because you'll be pulling, you don't want to pull any wires out, okay? Okay, I took the bottom one out and the top one's out, okay? I'm pulling it off. You take it off. You have to be careful. You see the wire there? And it goes in the clutch leads. You don't want to pull it, drop it hard or anything. You can, we'll just hang it down here nicely. Okay, very nicely. There you go. Okay? Anyway, so that's out of the way. Now, we'll go back to this pulley here. All right? I'm going to show you how to get that belt on a new one. I just put the new one on here. In order to get this belt on, okay, or take a damaged old one off that's still on, okay, there's a bolt behind here. Let's see if you can see my finger right there. There's a duplicate bolt underneath, okay? And how this pulley gets adjusted is just like an alternator on an old Ford or Chevy pickup, okay? You loosen the one down below here. Just loosen it, don't take it out. You loosen this one. Let's see if I can see my finger. You loosen this one. In order to loosen this one, you see inside there's a 5/8. You put a little, you have to have a skinny 5/8 wrench. Goes on there, okay? Look, a skinny 5/8 wrench. Remember, 5/8. It gets slid up in there, or it can be slid in from this side on there, and you hold it on there. This side, the nut, okay? The nut, right, you go right here. There's the nut, okay? That nut will be 11/16. So you loosen this one where it's pretty good and loose, all right? Now you see this bar sticking here, all right? That's welded on to the framework, and you're like, oh, what the hell is that bar for? I don't need that bar for, all right? What you do is you take a pry bar or like, hell, I was out in the field and I had saved a big piece of rebar, okay? You can slide it here against that bar. You lever back and you can tighten this up, okay? That's how you tighten it, all right? Let me put this back. There it goes in the junk pile, the back of the truck. Anyway, and you tighten that up, okay, with pressure, while you're holding pressure on it, kind of just like you're doing an alternator on an old car, okay? You tighten it up. There's no, how you say, adjustment like you see on the belts where you can adjust and tension it up like ratcheting it up. No, you have to apply pressure like an old alternator and tighten it, okay? If your machine, what this one runs is the hydraulic pump. That's what this is, a pump, okay? So the motor's here, the motor's always driving this pump. In order for this machine to move, that belt has to be on there to drive the hydraulics, okay? That gives you your swing and moving the machine back and forth. So, now you know if your machine breaks down out in the field somewhere, you can't get it home unless you got that belt, okay? And that belt, at an auto parts store, you're probably not going to find it very much. That belt, I'll give you a code, okay? It is a Gates, right there, BX37, okay? BX37. The X stands for it's cogged. It doesn't have to be cogged. Cogged belts are about 25% stronger from what the manufacturers tell me than a regular belt, okay? I could only get a regular belt. I'm going to try to order one off the internet that's cogged, so put it in my toolbox, keep it around in case I need it again. All right, now this here is on the clutch side, right? This belt is shorter than the other side. This belt is made by D&D Power Drive. It's an A49. That's all you have to tell them. And it's a 3 belt. See those 3? It's 3 belts molded into one. Okay, they will ask you that. You'll say it's 3 belts molded into one. It's an A49. That's what he needs to know. Okay, so to put this on, since I took that bracket off, you put it on, right? You come underneath here. God, this is hot. Now you got to pull this out again, just so you can get this out of your way. And I can't do this one-handed, but let me tell you what we're gonna do. You have to loosen this up too. This pulley goes up and down. Loosen it up, and to loosen it up, you got to know this too. You need a deep 9/16 socket, okay, which will go up in here, and you'll need a 9/16 to hold this nut up here. You put one wrench there, the socket there, loosen it all the way up. And you're going to have to tap this pulley up because they ride metal against metal here. So you'll have to pull it up till you got the slack. Once you got the slack, you put the belt back on, and then you're like, how the hell do I squeeze it on? Once you got the belt started, I'll show you, like if you're getting it kind of halfway started, give you an idea like this. You can reach over here to your cutter wheel, pull the cutter wheel, and it'll pop on. Once it's on, the manual says in there, you have a torque wrench. I think it's 25 foot-pounds of pressure. Goes on here, and you push that down to pressure, and then you ratchet this down right here to nut up till you have this pulley pushing down that pressure. Okay. Now with different manufacturers and with belt slacking and stuff, once you put a new belt on here, trust me, about an hour of grounding or less, you have to take that cover off and readjust it. Okay. Now, here's another trick. When I'm out in the field, time is money, right guys? So, I've told you this before. I've got a Harbor Freight. It's heavy, but it's a 3/8 drive cordless ratchet. What I keep on it is the 1/2 inch socket, okay? Your shield is held on with these nuts, these bolts, excuse me, that have a washer built on them already that has little marks. See those little marks behind it? Those are so you don't need lock washers. Those bite into the metal and keep it from vibrating out. But after you take them out so many times, they will vibrate out. So I always recommend buying some spares at your Lowe's, Home Depot, or hardware store. All right? So I could put that shield back on. Here's another thing about the shield. I want you to see this. You see here how these bolts are a little shiny? Okay? When you put the shield on, there's slack. There's a slot cut in here. See the slot right here? That the slack. put the shield on, start the bolts, pull the shield out, okay? That way it's not resting against here, because after time, these get wore out. And, oh, look at all my old belt in there, see? Let me show you something. Inside, this goes for any machine. This was rotting a little bit right there against that shield. See, those bolts were. So pull it out, tighten it up, okay? I'll do this so much I can do it blindfolded, all right? And this one here, no one will tell you how to do this one. Now you know. There's no rocket scientist stuff to it. It's just you don't, if you're not a wrencher, you're not a mechanic, you can do this. Jesus, all I have here is a thin 5/8, another wrench that's 11/16. These are stuff I just carried in a box. These are not high-end tools, they're garbage, okay? Best one I have is this, the Harbor Freight. Another trick, okay? You have to use a 6-point socket. You can get away with a 12-point, but what will happen is it will slowly round off the nuts, okay, on the shield. So I went to Harbor Freight or anywhere you can go. Make sure you get yourself a 6-point, and the same nuts there have been on there for freaking almost 2 years, coming on and off, on and off, on and off. I learned that trick too, the hard way, okay? So I'm going to put this back on, show you after it's completed. So remember, after you get the belt back on and you slap it, get it on, and this, you got to put this back on too afterwards. We'll do that and I'll show you. I'll put the belt on and I'll show you me putting that on, all right? I'm going to attempt to put this big belt on one-handed, okay? You see how it is? All right, got it started. I've got the cutter wheel in my hand. Let's see if old Adam can do this. Did I eat my Wheaties? Oh, I ate my Wheaties. It's on. See? Now we're on. Now, we will attempt the magic trick. Now, you just got to remember this. Okay, remember, this is going to go back over here, over the top. That pin has to go into the clutch. See, we're in the clutch. And then I have to put the bolts back in there, which I can't do one-handed. All right, but hold on, by the magic of YouTube, let me get that on. Okay, we're back, you see? Got that back on. This is, remember, 5/8. I reconnected the harness right here. Has a rubber grommet right there. It slides right through it. There's a slice in it. Okay? Now, this is another tool I recommend for you. Got in some of my other videos, right? It's extendable 1/2-inch drive from Harbor Freight. All right, and I keep it in. This is what I take off my green teeth with, but it also fits very nice. Same socket, everything goes right on there, and it gives me enough leverage to crank this son of a gun on instead of trying to do it with a 3/8 drive or a shorter 1/2-inch drive. This is 1/2-inch drive, okay? Anyway, I'm not going to bore you by cranking that. We'll go to the next step in a minute. Okay, we're back. The clutch is all locked in. The guards put back in, the 2 5/8 bolts. This was loosened up and tapped up, remember? I brought it down. It says in instructions you need a torque wrench set at 25 foot-pounds for a smooth belt, and it's a 15/16 socket. Anybody have never used one before, it's already set. You can learn how to do that yourself, and you'll hear it click, okay? That's where it's hitting its, the click means I hit the 25 foot-pounds, all right? So, you hold it there, and then, can't do this one-handed again. Put your wrench here. You take your deep 9/16 socket. You go up into here, right, and you tighten it down. You tighten it down. Once you have that two-hand, you gotta have 2 hands to do it, okay? Once you have the torque wrench, where it's clicking at, you tighten it to that amount. let's do that. Okay, make sure before you put the shield on, any of those wires are out of the way. I've got it zip tied so it doesn't fall on the belts, and the belts are clear. I also started the motor up, and I engaged the clutch to make sure nothing was hitting. Okay, now you're going to put the shield on. Remember I told you about the shield and these slots in the shield? Okay, you just hand tighten these on. All right, then you go to this bottom lip, put your hand underneath it, pull out to where you're away. You're pulling the shield away from the pulleys, and then you tighten it. And that's why I love this wonderful Harbor Freight 3/8 ratchet. Okay, so that's done. But I also, while I was in there, I examined my bearings. I noticed some play in this one. I changed that other one in a video. So in the near future, like a few days from now or the weekend, I will change the bearing on that. I'll show you what bearing I used, the number, where I sourced it from, and we'll go right through how to change it. If you can change this belt, okay, you can change that bearing. All right, you don't have to go to a shop, you know, you don't have to hit that shock. I'm not trying to take work away from shops, trust me. You know, I'm American, I understand. But if you're a stump grinder, you need to be able to repair 75% of your machine, especially the simple things, the belts, some bearings. You need to be able to do it, okay? Otherwise, it'll kick you in the ass, and you go out and you make that money and you're just giving it right back to somebody else, okay? Anyway, God bless you guys. Hang with me. You know, I always give that question for that sticker that I made, you know, that saying, if you're not learning something new every day, you must be dead. You're not dead because you're watching this. Anyway, I hope this helps somebody, because I get a lot of questions on that. Now remember, the muffler side, okay? This is the clutch side, okay? That's why it's got the vents in here, because the clutch it's got a fan on it, okay? Now, let's go around the other side. The motor side, where your key is at, that you're going to start it. It sounds like I'm talking to a moron, but this side is the cutter wheel belt, okay? Belt goes from where we just fit over there, transfers to over here to a pulley, and I changed that pulley before, the bearing I mean, and I showed you that. Goes from there, travels to another pulley here, that in turn transfers a wheel. The problems with the ZTs were the belt adjustment on this side, on the cutter wheel side. They went to an SG40 with a whole big pulley that pulls it up. I'm going to see in the future, maybe winter time, if I can get a hold of someone in the factory and see if they're coming up with a retro kit for us guys that have the ZT for this side. If they do, you know I'll share it with you, okay? Anyway, God bless you guys, and hang around for the question that's coming up here in a second, because I'm freaking toast. All right, we're back, and it's the question time, like I always do at the end of a video. And I just want to tell you guys, thanks for hanging out. I know it was a long video, but that was a detailed thing to change 2 belts. I've been asked a lot of questions, emails, so just make it short. I don't want to bore you. Anyway, it's movie question time. Remember, it's for the sticker that says, remember, if you're not learning something new every day, you must be dead. Hell, I feel dead today. I'm tired. Anyway, please, if you took the time to watch this video and it helped you, please click the like button. It really does help me on YouTube as far as anybody finding me to want to do one of these repairs. Otherwise, they keep you like on the side in YouTube La La Land. If you click the likes or make comments or subscribe, it moves me up to where it's easy for you to find me, okay? That's the reason why for the like button, all right? Anyway, the movie question for the sticker, the first 2 people to answer it correctly in the comment section win, as always. And I just want to tell you thank you again. Anyway, it's a movie that came out when I graduated high school. In 1979, the movie came out, okay? It's called Mad Max if you're an older guy like me, you know what the hell it is, okay? They made a bunch of them. But Mad Max #1, the first movie. I want to know what year car it was, make, and model car. Okay? Very simple, okay? The first Mad Max movie, the year, the make, and model car. What was used, okay? And you know who starred in that movie, right? If you don't know, God, you must be living under a rock. Anyway, I'll leave it like that. Make sure to click that like button at the end. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you. God bless you.